Okay, so kind of hard to see on this one. It's a Toshiba LCD TV, but kind of got a very solarized picture on the screen here. So I thought people have been expressing interest in seeing the oscilloscope used in troubleshooting. So let me hit the menu on this thing, and you can see that the menu's got a bunch of vertical lines in it. Hopefully you can see it that close. I'm not sure if the camera's focused clearly on that, but I thought I would show you a couple things with the scope, some signals to check to determine what's going on this one. Potentially you could have a mainboard failure on this one. You could have a T-con or timing controller failure on this set, as well as there's a possibility of a LVDS cable, low voltage differential signal cable, that could be bad as well. So let's dive into this one. Okay, so kind of hard to see here, but if you look at these lines right here, you can see each one has two individual circuit traces that go to the LVDS cable, and they correspond to these two pins, and so on and so forth. So each one is one bit, as they call it. So there's the first bit, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And then if you look over here on the other side, we've got about a mirror image. So 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So it's a 10-bit panel, as they call it. But upon looking at the waveforms with the oscilloscope, the first two are not used, and I believe the last two are not used. So it's only actually an 8-bit panel. So I'm going to get the oscilloscope out and show you some waveforms that you should find on these pins. Okay, I've got my scope hooked up here, and it's kind of hard to see because of the sweep rate of the scope versus the pickup speed of the camera. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at the LVDS cable, the various pins, and you'll see that there is a negative and a positive, which is why it's called a differential signal, because they're exact opposites of each other. So there would be the negative or the positive peak, and then this is what I call the positive or negative peak on this, the one right above it. So I'm just going to go through and look at all 8 bits. Okay, so there's the first 4 negative, and here's the first 4 positive. 3, 4, they're all there. I'm going to go to the other side now. There's 1. We'll look at both the positive and negative on one, then we'll just switch it to the positive and the negative on the second one. Positive and negative on the third one, and positive and negative on the fourth one. But I've done a little bit of troubleshooting on this set already, and I've determined the problem is actually where the LVDS cable meets with the timing controller board, and I'll show you how I found that out with the oscilloscope. So I'm going to reach up here while I have my probe on one of these pins, and I'm going to wiggle the LVDS cable, and you can see what happens to the signal on the scope. It just gets, let me turn the rate or the amplification down just a little bit. You can see as I wiggle the LVDS cable, the signal gets much larger and smaller, so it's unloaded at that point. So where the LVDS cable meets with the socket to the timing controller board, either there's some oxidation, might be going on there. It could be a couple dissimilar metals, and it created a little bit of electrolysis. So I'm going to pull that apart and take a look at it real quick. Okay, here's the LVDS cable as it goes into the timing controller board. See if I can get a shot on it that looks halfway decent. And to just unplug it, it's just a matter of squeezing the sides and a gentle pull down to unplug it. And look at the pins. There's the little pins that connect the signal. I don't know if it'll focus that closely or not, but they actually look pretty good from what I can see on the camera. So I'm going to look up inside there and see if I can see anything. I don't think I can show you that part on the camera, but I'm suspecting one of these little pins is oxidized or tarnished in some way. Alright, so here's the end of the LVDS cable, and what I've got is a Dremel attachment, and I'm just going to, because it's a little steel brush, I'm just going to take and steel brush all these connectors to make sure they're bright and shiny. And do that, polish them up real nice a couple times. So they're all looking very nice, very shiny. Now next, to get up inside where the pins actually go, what I've done is I've taken a piece of paper and folded it several times. And what you can do, if I can get it to start up in here, yeah, it's a little thick, but you can actually like run the piece of paper actually up and down inside here, and just the abrasiveness of the paper itself will clean those contacts. Work it back and forth a few times. Be very kind of gentle on these, because the contactor just press fit into place. And that should clean up. You can actually see the stuff that was removed. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's shiny, so it actually took just a little thin layer of the metal. Now the next thing I'm going to do that I've had good luck with, this is silicone compound. It's not heat sink compound, but it's clear dielectric, and I'm going to add some of that right up here, smear it around, and what this is going to do is provide an airtight seal. It's going to add a little layer of protection, and I'm going to try to do the same thing. I'm going to just try to push it up into there. And I'm going to take that piece of paper that I had before, and I'm going to distribute it back and forth. That's good. I see it on the bottom there. And we'll fire it up and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I've got my set going here, and the picture looks great on it right now. So let me hit the menu, and I don't know if you remember the before picture of the menu, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jiggle the LVDS cable around at the same time. I'm moving it around here. Might be shaking the camera a little bit, but it's not even flashing one little bit. And before I could press on it and I could make it flash. So say we got a solid repair on this one. And just for reference, this one is a Toshiba, a 40E200U1. But I've seen this kind of problem with many other TVs. Various odd problems. I call it Solarized picture. So I thought I'd just shoot this real quick little video, let you watch it. Just wanted to say once again, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, your comments. Like I said, I try to answer as many as I possibly can, but of course I can't answer every single one. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, NorCal715. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching, and with your help we can keep these things out of the garbage, out of the recycle bin. And thank you once again.